My name is Bill. The church, in arranging the readings over these 4 weeks of Advent, has really been taking us on a journey inward, from large to small. Those first couple of weeks, we looked for the second coming of Christ. We were thinking globally, thinking universally, looking forward to the end of time. And as we've gotten closer to Christmas, as the season has come to an end, the lens has focused inward, and it's becoming smaller and smaller. And so I think one way to sort of summarize where we are right now is that we're being asked to dream big, but to act small, to act in the ordinary. As Father Roy reminded last week, he said, how do we incarnate, how do we enflesh the hope that the coming of Christ brings to the world? Tonight in the first reading from the prophet Micah, probably one of the lesser known prophets to most people, Micah is describing a situation some 500, 600, 700 years before Christ. And Jerusalem is under attack by the Assyrians. The city is about to be demolished. And what does Micah say? In the midst of all of this horror going on around them, he talks about how peace is going to come from the most unlikely place. You, Bethlehem, too small to be among the clans of Judah. From you will come forth for me one is to be ruler in Israel. And at the end of the prophecy, he says, he shall be peace. Peace will come from small Bethlehem. That's the message for us. When we come to the gospel, what is it we see? I mean, our devotion to Mary has grown over the centuries, but what the gospel portrays for us are two very ordinary women. Mary, that's Jesus, Mary, who's an ordinary young girl who has found herself to be pregnant and who rushes off to be with one of her relatives, who, by the way, was so old as to be thought impossible to get pregnant, and now she's pregnant. And these two women find great joy and comfort in each other. How many women here who have had babies have found comfort in the members of their family? A very ordinary kind of thing. This is not about the great and the powerful. This is about the ordinary and bringing the love of God, the hope of God, into the world nonetheless. That's what we're called to do right now. And as we leave this Advent season and begin to celebrate the coming of Christ in the world, we have to ask ourselves, how am I being called? Not in any great, magnificent way, but in the events of my life, the pregnancies of my life, the ups, the downs of my life. How am I being called to bring Christ's peace to the world? It's human nature, I think, when something happens tragic, such as what happened last week in Sandy Hook, to start having grand conversations, and those conversations need to take place. I'm not saying they shouldn't. But we want to know what government is going to do. We want to know what the church is going to do. We want to know what the city's going to do. And all of those are good conversations and necessary. But ultimately, we have to start here. What am I going to do? We have a tendency to like to say, but I'm nobody. I can't affect that. How can I do that? And that is precisely what our belief in a Christ who comes at Christmas is all about. That's why the song we sing, O come, Immanuel, God with us. We celebrate that not only has Christ come in some great powerful glory on the outside, that Christ has also come to us inside in our conversion into Christ. And that's also what we are asked to dream about and to act upon. So as we dream big and act small, I want to share in closing a reflection from a 13th century German mystic. Who knew? Now, he was a Dominican. His name is Eckhart. And here's what he wrote in the 13th century, reflecting on the gospel passage. We are all meant to be mothers of God. What good is it to me if this eternal birth of the divine Son takes place unceasingly, but does not take place within myself? And what good is it to me if Mary is full of grace, if I am not also full of grace? What good is it to me for the Creator to give birth to his Son, if I do not also give birth to him in my time and my culture? This then is the fullness of time, when the Son of Man is begotten